Hello everyone, Jai Hind. Welcome back in the LWC course series. And today in day 24, part D, we are going to cover the topic that is the standard component date. Okay. As usual, the code, whichever I'm writing, I will be providing in a GitHub repository, and the link of that GitHub will be provided in the description of the video. The explanation will take the each and every topic from the basic to the advanced, so that you need not to refer any other document. The information which I am going to provide is absolutely verified, and while the explanation, you will see that everything which I'm explaining is actually the is working, is a proof live. Okay, so let's go to the Salesforce. Here is this VS Code. And the component which I'm going to use is the child component. Okay. Now, lightning input type date. Okay. And you can also use the label here to show the label to the field. It's saved. Let me deploy. So when you use the lightning input type date, it's deployed. You get two options. One, to either provide the manual input. You can see here that this is a birthday, the label, and this is lightning input type date component. Okay. You see, here we have, the two options. One, either you can use the date picker, which is, this one, the calendar opens, and, you keep, the changing the year, the month, and you can select any date here. Okay. Format, you see, you get the detail. It's a, by default nature, by default functionality, that you get a detail that, okay, this format is acceptable by the component. Okay. So that's why when you're when you're selecting or changing the date here, see, it is taking the same format. It is taking the date in a same format. Okay. So even if you, the write it, you see here, if you, if you are, the providing the date manually, you're not using the date picker, and if the format mismatches, then you get the error message, a validation. Okay. This is all standard, because you see here, we hadn't wrote any extra code other than the lightning input, and the telling this lightning input type is date, label birthday, and in JS we have complete blank. Okay. So let's say right now you can see here that it is taking the date as December. Okay, DEC, then the month, and the year. You might have the question in your mind that what if I want in a different format, or I need a or I need a complete December. It's not just the short form December, or JAN for January. I need a complete. Okay. So we have the attribute. Which attribute we have? The attribute we have is date style. Okay. And in date style, what we can provide is three options. So it can be long, it can be medium, okay, or it can be short. Okay. So long means if I deploy, it is taking some time. Let me deploy again. Okay, deployed. Okay, let me refresh. You see here, the format changed. You see, December, it's a complete, the December is displaying now. Okay. So you select here. So it's complete coming, the completely is coming like October, complete, not, the short form, oct. No, it is displaying the complete, the October in front of us. You see, right? What if I make it as a medium, save, deploy, Control Shift R to refresh. So it became a short form, DEC. Okay. So you see here, short form. Okay. What if I make it as short? Control Shift R. See, change to this format. Change to this format means month, then date, and then year. All right. Good. Okay. So one attribute you understood is date style, which will, which can have a long, medium, short. Now, one thing, you have to understand because when you are developing the component that, the can be used on mobile devices as well. So if you're using the date style attribute and your component is, is in use in, in a mobile application or mobile device, then this date style attribute will be ignored. Okay, that means that you provide the long or medium or short, it will take a by default, that means the medium. The by default the date style is medium. Okay, so for mobile devices, date style will not show you any expected output. Okay, but for for desktop devices, yes, date style will work. Okay, is this clear? Many times you will also notice that this date picker is not visible even in your desktop, right? So the reason is that you have to check your CSS. Okay, the minimum width which this component require is 285 pixel. Okay, and minimum height, HEIDT. Okay, this component require is 310 pixel. So you have to, check this because I am, sharing this information because in one of, the project when I was working, my, the colleague, came to me and said that he is not able to see the date picker. Okay. So the reason was, they have provided some CSS And when they provided a CSS, the width, minimum width, and the minimum height, which we are actually required as per the Salesforce documentation, was lesser. So as soon as we made it, with the minimum width as 295 and minimum the height as 310 pixel, it start working. Okay, so if you need a functionality and you don't, you're not seeing this, the date picker, just check your CSS and verify whether you have the correct, the minimum width and minimum height. Okay. Now we have another, the attribute that is min and max. Okay. Many times what you have to do, you want that, okay, let me allow user to select the date from this range only. For example, let's say you want to the allow user to select the minimum date or a past date as 31st April 2025. Okay, just let's talk about the minimum only. So before 31st April 2025, user cannot provide or cannot select the date. So you can do it using the minimum attribute, min attribute. How you can do? Let me, remove this. You can keep it, but just for your simplicity, I am doing this. So min, okay. Now you have to remember that the min and max attribute always take the input as per ISO date format, which is year, month, and date. Okay, always remember this thing. ISO date format. Okay, so now I am going to provide here 2025. That's a year. Fourth is the April. Okay, fourth is the April. Or let me write it here. Okay, done. Let me deploy. Deploy. You see here October. Okay, why it is allowing? Just 1 second. Why it is allowing? See here. Now, the before 30 April, everything is gray out. See, 30 is visible. You come here. These are visible. You can select, right? Even 30 you can select, right? But 1st April value must be April 30, 2025 or later. Okay. So, this is gray out. You can see this is brighter. 30 is bright, but rest, is gray out, which means it is telling you that you can't select. Even the arrow is gray out. Year is not available before 2025, right? You have seen that 19 since 1925, that's the first year, that you were seeing earlier. Now, the 2025 is the year which you can see. Before 2025, there is no year available. Dates are gray out. And if you, if you, let's say, you select here, and as you click somewhere else, that means the blur event will fire and the validation will fire. Let me show you. Right now, this is working. So you select here, it is highlighted. You click somewhere else, the blur event will fire and the validation fired. You hadn't provided any validation. It's all standard because of this minimum, min attribute. Okay. Now let's say if I use max, that means beyond 1st October 2025, any date, even a 2nd October 2025, 3rd October 2025, any date later than this particular date, you will not be able to select. Okay, let's go. See, one is available. All the dates are available here. One is available, but 2nd, 3rd, even 24, these all are blur. Value must be 1st October 2025 or earlier. Validation fired. If I go here, this is also working for me, right? If you even try to, the manually enter, validation will fire. You got my point? Okay. Now this min or max, the input which is required is in the ISO date format. Irrespective of the date style, which you may use long, medium, or short, but the min max require ISO date format. Okay, I'm repeating my statement again. You may use any date style. You may use long, you may use small, oh sorry, the short or medium. This will actually, the work until and unless you're not disturbing this required format, that is the ISO date format, which is this. I can show you. Deployed. You see here, it's coming like this because we are using the, the December 31st, 2024, and still it is working. Everything is gray out. You select 1, it's working. You select 10, it will throw an, validation. You select 30 April, anything later, it's working. But before 30, it will through a validation. Okay. Now, one, very interesting thing which, I want to show you is, let's say, user, now you have the 31st December. Okay. You have 31st December. Sorry. Now, what if, if I provide data as, so what if I provide, let's say I select it as 31st December, okay, working, or let me, make a small change to make you clearly understand this functionality. Okay, so let's see here now. You selected 31st December 2025. Okay. What if if a user by mistake provided as 13, month as 13. We have 12 months, right? But user provided 13 month. Okay. So what will happen? It will be it will be moved to the next year. Date remain unchanged. Okay. Let me show you. Now this is 17 December 2025. Let me make it as 13. Date remain unchanged, but because we have 12 months in an year, user by mistake they provided 13, so it moved to the next year. Year changed to 2026, right? Get your point? So this is also by default nature. You need not to do anything, right? So for if by any chance user provided a wrong month, it will move to a next year. Date remain unchanged because when we are saying that move to next year, so year will change. Okay. In a the next the lecture, we will be the working with the this lightning input type date mini project, which will the give you the the more the data about related to the JavaScript. Okay. Because we have understood this component, this standard component lightning input type date in depth. Now nothing is left. But I will be sharing you a project where I will be the talking of the core JavaScript, not the LWC JavaScript, core JavaScript. Okay. Which you can use with the lightning input type date and can make your project. All right. So see you again. In the next lecture. Till then, revise the concept and keep showing me with your love, support. So like, share, and subscribe. Take care of yourself and your country. Jai Hind.